a lot of Castlevania content here on Erin Plays, and maybe you're tired of it, but I really love the franchise, so here we are. Anyway, people have a lot of heated opinions when it comes to the Castlevania games on the original Game Boy. First, you have Castlevania The Adventure. This takes place a century before the original Castlevania, and this time you play as Christopher Belmont. The levels are fun enough, and I like being able to play Vania on the Game Boy. But wow, are these controls sluggish. It feels like you're walking in sand that's up to your knees. The first time I played this, I found it barely playable because of this. I could barely even whip a candle without getting frustrated. But then somebody told me about the fixed version. That refers to the version of the game that's included on the Game Boy Color Konami version. Not only are there vibrant colors now, look how awesome that title screen looks, but the controls are much better. There are no sub-weapons, but you have the Flame Whip, which does some pretty serious damage. There are still hearts though, but those are just used to restore health. I also enjoyed this awful sound made by the ravens. It sounds like a dying witch, or those flying pigs in a blanket in Ghosts and Goblins. I also like the constant slew of deadly eyeballs. Where are they coming from and who do they belong to? The game never answers this, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. You also get to explore a bit in this one, deciding whether to go up or down on a rope, left or right. I enjoyed that. I found myself still complaining while playing this version, but that being said, I kept on playing it. I was actually able to make it to the final stage in this one without wanting to just throw it across the floor, so that's saying something. Then you have Castlevania II, Belmont's Revenge. This is the follow-up game, which is set 15 years later, and Dracula takes Christopher's son, so we're looking for revenge. There are 4 stages separated into different castles, and you can choose the order in which you tackle each of them, which I think is fun for a Castlevania game. It also has a password system that I was really thankful for. I'm discussing the original Game Boy version, but like Castlevania Adventure, this was also re-released on the Game Boy Color in a Konami collection. Right away you can tell it flows better, and I like that they brought back the traditional Castlevania sub-weapons. Although the Flame Whip was awesome, sub-weapons are always a nice bonus. They keep up with Castlevania The Adventure when it comes to the eyeball enemies. Also, it has some of the best music on any Game Boy game ever. I'll give the Castlevania Game Boy games that. They do not skimp on the music. This game should really be called Castlevania II Ropes, Ropes, and More Ropes, because it seems like you're constantly climbing ropes. I mean, there's ropes in Castlevania Adventure, but this takes it to another level. It's fine at first, but after a while it does feel a bit repetitive. The only thing getting any revenge in this game are the goddamn ropes. Even though I did have more fun playing the Game Boy Color version of Castlevania Adventure, I do agree that Belmont's Revenge is a better game, and I can see why people say this is their favorite. Maybe I should check out the Game Boy Color version and see if I feel differently. And finally, let's talk about Castlevania Legends. This is the tale of a young girl's struggle. Yay! I was really excited to play this one because it features a female Belmont. You play as Sonia Belmont and, you guessed it, you gotta fight Dracula. Apparently in this game, even though it says Sonia is the first Belmont to fight Dracula, it's actually not canon. Anyway, at first, I was pretty into this game. It was different, but still felt like the cozy Castlevania universe I know and love, and the controls were better than in Adventures. It also starts off playing Bloody Tears to get you pumped and ready for action. There's funny enemies, like this sassy ghost, and slugs, human livers, and of course, plenty of bats. The wall meat in this game is also pretty funny looking. However, rather quickly I knew something was up. It turns out there are no sub-weapons. Well, I was told you find them, but you can't, use them. There's no sub-weapons? Is that true, V8? He says this game was actually the origin story for the sub-weapons. You find them and collect them, but you can't use them. So, that sucks. Ooh! So I got a sub-weapon I can't use. Tight. So there you have it, my thoughts on the infamous Castlevania Game Boy games. Do you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.